Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Justin Harrell here. Hashtag, I guess, Asian Truck Man. Been thinking about changing that name. I think it's, I don't know, it seems kind of tacky, but I guess it works for right now. It's been working on the channel for probably the better part of 8 months. I wanted to make a video this morning on one topic, and it's going to be kind of boring. So if you're expecting to see any vehicles in this thing, you're not going to. It's purely a numbers video. And what I'm going to describe in this video is a question that was asked to me was, hey Justin, you always are trading your cars in and out. What do you suggest buying for a family vehicle and why? So this also alludes to that fact that it's part of something that a lot of people don't consider, and that's the resale value of your vehicle. I have several family members that are like, well, you need to get something more fuel efficient. You need to get something front wheel drive. You just need to get a sedan. It's cheaper. Why do you always buy top of the line cars? And this video is to explain to you why I buy top of the line cars. And I say top of the line, I'm not rich by any means. I'm not talking about exotics. I'm talking about trucks, SUVs, crossovers, and vehicles. I've owned probably 30 plus cars in some way, shape, form, or fashion in my life. I have a lot of people that still try to give me unwanted advice on how to purchase cars. I've been down this road a long time. Not to say that I know everything about it. I'm sure I've been bent over a couple times, but hey, it's all part of the learning process. So what I want to talk to you guys about is, number one is how to sell your wife or your significant other on how to get a new pickup truck. Or why you should get a pickup truck instead of getting that minivan. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about sticker price here, okay? So we're going to use my truck, or say like an F-150 King Ranch or Lariat as an example. And so, if you go to, let's say the truck lot, a leathered up 4-wheel drive, full 4-door truck is probably going to run you a sticker price of, I'm going to call it $58,000, okay? And then if you're looking at a crossover, which is typically the item of choice these days, you're going to be probably looking somewhere around, let's call it $49,000 for say a Traverse, high country, whatever you want to call it, okay? So, on all the articles on Yahoo or whatever, the car lot, there's a lot of people that get sticker shock over this, okay? And if you pay sticker for your cars, you're a freaking moron. Which I know most of you guys on there don't do that. So if you wait at certain times of the year, it's usually once a quarter. I'm a sales guy. Typically they run trucks once a quarter. You're either going to get a $12,000 to $14,000 discount off this price. So in this instance, I'm going to use the best case scenario. I know that Nash Chevrolet, been mine on up the road right now, they're doing $14,000 off. Okay, so that gets you down to $44,000. All right, so $44,000 on the crossovers. They typically don't run discounts that high on it. Usually, what you can expect it off of a crossover is probably about $5,000. Okay. So, and I know there's going to be some people on here, they're like, whoa, I got $10,000 off of mine. That's great. Most I've seen is usually $5,000 or $6,000. Let's do this. Let's just say $6,000. All right. So that gets you down to $43,000. Okay. So when you walk on the car lot, you're looking at cars with your wife. Your wife's going to be like, oh my God, that truck's $58,000. But understand that there's a lot of back-end rebates. What I do with these is lots of times you'll have to finance these through General Motors. Both of these through General Motors. So what I'll do is I'll finance it through General Motors, pay on it for 3 months, and then refinance it through my credit union. Because typically they'll try to stick you with a rate probably about 5%. Your credit union will probably give you 1.9, 1.5, maybe 2 on it. And that's probably the best way to go about it. So, if you really look at it, it's a 4-door truck, 4-wheel drive, leather interior, crossover, same thing, loaded out. All right. So let's look at the residual values here. Okay. So we're going to do 5 years, which I really don't keep my vehicles that long. I usually keep them like 3 or 4 or if they're right up under 100,000 miles, get rid of them. And I'll make another video of that. And then we're gonna do 10 years, okay? We're gonna do 100,000 miles here. All right, 100,000 miles, okay? And then we're gonna do, let's just call it 200,000 miles, okay? Most guys drive 200,000 miles in 10 years, all right? So we're gonna use this crossover scenario. I really don't feel like filling out one per car, but understand that if you buy a front wheel drive car, unless it's like a specialty, like if you're talking about like an M5, CTSV, anything on a rear wheel drive platform that has a V8 engine in it will hold its value fairly well. Anything front wheel drive in SUV, crossover, pickup truck, anything with a front wheel drive chassis loses value like a rock, okay? Loses value like a rock. And I'm gonna show you an example because this crossover is front wheel drive. Okay, so I did some values last night. 5-year-old truck with 100,000 miles on it. You're gonna be anywhere from 20K to 25K, depending on what trim line it is, okay? For your crossover, all right, you're gonna be anywhere from 10K to 15K, okay? All right, and these are rough numbers, but you can go online, look at a bunch of examples. There's a lot of factors to go into it. Trim levels, now mind you, we're using top of the line trim levels here on these cars. And the cars that I have at my house are rear wheel drive, that or all wheel drive. So no front wheel drive garbage. And I say garbage because they just lose so much value, it's not even worth messing with. Okay, so most of these are depreciated out. At least the truck is depreciated out for the most part. So overall, you're looking at, you know, a total, we'll call it, well, it was just saving 20K, just worst case scenario, which is how I like to run my calculations. You lost $24,000 on that truck, okay? $24,000, okay? That seems like a lot of money. You know, you were at the dealership like, oh my God, the truck's $58,000, but hey, we got $14,000 for the discounts on it. Even the incident, just getting a $12,000 discount, you lost 26K on that truck. 5 years and 100,000 miles. Now, mind you, that truck has probably been under warranty that entire time. So you probably don't have any repair cost or anything like that. So, okay, all good and dandy. So you pay a little bit less for the crossover. The initial sticker shock wasn't that bad, all right? So, and I also want to speak up and also say that this also works for Chevy Tahoes too, and we'll probably run one off to the side here once we get done just doing the truck and crossover analysis. But, you know, you're at 10K to 15K. So we're going to say worst case scenario here, it's 10K. So you lost $33,000. Now, I don't know about you, but if you do the math, $33,000 is a heck of a lot more than losing $24,000 on it, okay? So trying to keep this YouTube video short so that you guys understand, so that we don't have to have a bunch of ads in here. So at the 10-year mark, 200,000 miles, typically what I see with trucks is going to be somewhere between 15K and still at 20K. I've seen some go for $20,000 if they're nice and been really well taken care of. Okay, now the crossover, 10 years, 200,000 miles, you're going to be somewhere between $3,000 and $6,000. Okay? Let's do the math here. Let's take both worst case scenarios. Worst case scenario, you've lost $40,000 on this front wheel drive crossover. All right, this pickup truck. Okay, let's do some quick math here. I'm trying to think. It is $29,000. Now, I'm not in the business of losing money, but on a car or a truck, typically it's a losing proposition unless you go to a dealership. So, guys, this is just some quick, simple math. And I'm gonna make another video on a Tahoe, and I know I'm just sitting here at the kitchen table or the island, kind of putting these numbers together. But I want you guys to understand why it's more beneficial to buy a pickup truck than it is to buy a front wheel drive platform crossover. The same thing goes for any truck platform. Anything with a front wheel drive. from a resale standpoint is garbage. Okay, and I just want everyone to understand that, because I have a ton of people that have come up to me like, oh my God, Justin, you bought a $60,000 truck. Like, yes, I did buy a $60,000 truck, but I did not pay $60,000 for it. You know, you don't go up to somebody and be like, oh my God, you bought a $50,000 crossover SUV. You know, it's perceived a little bit different. It's like, oh, it's a family car, it's okay. But in actuality, it's actually it is a worse financial decision to go buy a super expensive crossover than it is to go buy a super expensive pickup truck. Okay, so you know, I want you guys to also understand that no matter what, you have a car payment. If you have to put a $500 alternator on your car, an intake manifold gasket, tires, $1,500 worth of tires, you have a car payment. Divide that by 12, and that's what you paid that month. If you have to put a $5,000 transmission in your car, you paid $400 a month for it this year. This video is starting to get a little bit long, but I just want you guys to understand the actual ownership cost of these cars. You can add gas in there. Most trucks get 18 to 23 miles per gallon these days, roughly, unless it's leveled out like mine. But the gas cost is so minimal. It is just it's almost like carrying a credit card in your back pocket. You don't even feel it. It's really not that big of a difference. You know, you're talking about $2,000 to $3,000 difference in fuel costs. So I don't even want to hear that argument. This is just a candid breakdown of residual costs, cost of ownership, and the actual reason why it's actually cheaper to own a pickup truck. Thanks guys, and have a good afternoon.